Hi there, guys and girls. It's me, TotalMK. I'm back from Japan. So yeah, something interesting happened while I was in Japan. They announced the Mortal Kombat Arcade Legacy Collection.
It was such a shock to see this game. I was like, I can't believe this game exists.
It became something that added to the mystique of Mortal Kombat.
We're showing you a part of a world.
It happened. Me and Fate have been championing something like this to be made. It's something. Also, TotalMK even mentioned it. We were really upset as some of the most hardcore old school MK fans that when they had the 20th anniversary for Mortal Kombat, the 25th anniversary, the 30th anniversary, every time it was just like, it was like a video or they did a panel, or at least last time they put out some artwork and stuff. That was okay. But it's still, where's the collection, bro? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, as a Mortal Kombat fan, I can tell you this after coming back from Japan and seeing the Capcom centers and all the Capcom games, and they love Street Fighter over there and Capcom and everything. And when Capcom does a collection, when it's 30 years old, they put all the Street Fighters in there, they put all the soundtracks in there, they put all the artwork in there. And I'm like, why can't we, as Mortal Kombat fans, get the same thing? Why the fuck can't we get? Why can't we get this? Do you know what I mean? I was actually quite insulted when Mortal Kombat turned 20, 25, 30, and they didn't bother to do anything other than, like I said, a panel or a video or put out some key art. Do you know what I mean? It's like, where's the collection? Where's anything? Like there's no book even of the history of MK, or even a soundtrack collection for the 30th anniversary. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a million things you could have done. They did nothing. And they didn't just do nothing once. They did nothing 3 fucking times. 20, 25, and 30. It was very, very insulting. Do you know what I mean? So, it's always pissed us off. Then there's been the whole, the current day Mortal Kombat, especially MK1 and MK11. I haven't really been that, fully into. I really tried. MK1 really brought it to a head for me. I'm like, I can't play Mortal Kombat if it's gonna stay like this, where it's all weird, with all these changes and, swapping characters to female for no fucking reason, and putting all reminders of COVID in the game, like here's your COVID mask and vaccine needle, and just, if you're gonna keep doing weird stuff like this, why the fuck am I playing this game? Mortal Kombat's an escape. It's a fantasy game. You don't need any of that stuff in it. It's supposed to just be fantasy based, so the last 2 games have been, are just annoying for us. And for someone like Fate, he can't stand any of the Warner Brothers games. And, MK9 doesn't count because I've told him, and he knows, and it's something he always mentions, that, I told him that Midway were working on that game before WB had opened up NetherRealm Studios. When Midway was going bankrupt, they'd already started planning MK9. So the team had already started planning it. And then once they had the studio, Warner's like, well, make the project because you've planned it. That's the next project. So that's why MK9 is so awesome. But then after that, it starts going weird, right? I don't mind X. But, as they went on, X is okay. 11, I got a lot of problems with 11. And 1, I got a lot of problems with 1. So, that's current day MK. And we were all worried when they announced that this was wrapping up, MK1, that the next announcement would be Injustice 3. I was actually really worried, because, I'm like, I don't want to play another Injustice game. I really don't. I don't like Injustice. That's me. I'm sorry if you like Injustice. I just think someone else should be doing Injustice, not the MK team. So, and then, you know, you got dickheads like Undies who start doing videos saying, you know, Injustice 3 is the next game, and he's the roster leaked, and that guy is a shill liar, you know, and that's why he tried to come after me, because I call out the shills, you know. Some shills are okay, you know, some are not. Let's just leave it at that anyway. So it wasn't Injustice 3. The next MK game was, of course, Mortal Kombat Legacy Arcade Collection. And it's awesome. It's so awesome. As someone who has behind me there somewhere the Switch games. Where are the Switch games? See the Switch games. Can I reach it? I had it out. Yeah. Oh. I grabbed it and dropped it. That's good. Good one. Okay. The Cowabunga Collection for Switch. I bought this. It's all the Ninja Turtle games. This is made by Digital Eclipse, who are making this collection. They did a fantastic job with this. You can play the arcade version, you can play Turtles in Time, you can play all sorts of excellent things. You know, I should stream this. That's a good idea leading up to this release. So I have full confidence in Digital Eclipse to do this collection. I've always liked Digital Eclipse, actually. I think they did some of the Game Boy conversions, if I'm not wrong. I don't know, I didn't look into it for this video, but I have a feeling they did like MK4 Game Boy or something. I have a feeling. Anyway, they did such a great job with the Cowabunga collection that I'm sure the Legacy collection is going to be awesome. And so when you've all seen the trailer by now, you know, I know I'm like the last to post about this. Like I said, I was coming back to Australia, and then I had a million things to do when I got here, so... the two key things that stand out for me are these two screenshots that you're seeing here. The one you got on the left, that's the Mortal Kombat live tour show. That's Kerry Hoskins in the tour. And then they show Kerry Hoskins right after this screenshot. But that makes me think that that live tour is going to be in the collection. You're going to be able to watch the Mortal Kombat live tour as a feature in the collection, which I think is awesome. On the right, it shows all the games that are going to be in the collection. You got 4 question marks. Now, I should have had that list handy, but for that... Can I bring it up quickly? I don't know. Okay, so... Currently, I've just brought up the list of games that are mentioned in the collection. We've got Mortal Kombat, the arcade version, the Super Nintendo version, the Genesis/Mega Drive version, Game Boy and Game Gear version. We've got Mortal Kombat 2, arcade, Super Nintendo, Genesis/Mega Drive, Game Boy 32X, which is a really good version, by the way, 32X. Mortal Kombat 3, we got arcade, Super Nintendo, Genesis/Mega Drive. UMK 3, we've got arcade/Super Nintendo. Weird that there's no Genesis version of that. That's interesting. Why wouldn't they do that? I wonder. Then we got, and this is the biggest news, Mortal Kombat 4 arcade version. Mortal Kombat 4 has never been emulated because of the Zeus chip. The Zeus chip is extremely hard to emulate. It's a very powerful chip that helped with all the polygon rendering, I believe. And it's something that Tabmock told me. Apparently they lost a lot of the schematics to this chip or something, the guy that designed it. I'm sure someone can negative it, reverse engineer the chip and work it out, and maybe that's what they've done here. But for the first time, we're going to be able to play MK4 Arcade, which is awesome. I love MK4 Arcade. I know a lot of people don't like MK4 Arcade. It's a fast-paced game. I think it's fun. You know, I was speaking to Tom Brady the other day. He said that there are a few issues with MK4, like a vulnerability on certain characters with 15 frames. With when you pick someone like Tanya and use her dual kick, apparently there's like a vulnerability. You know, so he knew a few things about MK4 that I didn't. But I still think it's a great game, and I'm glad we're finally going to be able to play it in this collection. Then you got Mortal Kombat Advance, Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance Game Boy, and Mortal Kombat Tournament Edition Game Boy. Now, the reason they've included DA Game Boy and TE Game Boy is because that they are basically handheld like versions. It's more like they're more like not the 3D versions. They feel more like a 2D game, a 3D game that's been turned into a 2D game, and I think that's why they've been put in this Legacy collection, right? But when you watch this trailer, you'll notice you got these 4 question marks in the trailer, for those who didn't notice. So it says "and more" in this press release. So we know there's going to be 4 more games added. Now for me, I think it's really easy to work out what those 4 games are. I hope I'm right, and this doesn't mean I am right, but let's take a look, shall we? What's missing from the era before PS2? Like, all the games before, we're getting almost every game mentioned, except for Mortal Kombat Trilogy, Mortal Kombat Gold, Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero, and Mortal Kombat Special Forces. I'm hoping, even though I don't like Special Forces, I'd like to see it in this collection, and I'm hoping that... I think definitely we're going to get Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero. I think definitely we're going to get that game, because it's a John Tobias game, and John Tobias is back on the team with Ed, which was so exciting to see, by the way, on this game. So I think we'll get Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero. I think we'll get Mortal Kombat Trilogy, because if Mortal Kombat 3 is in there and the others are in there, if they have the emulator capable of running that software, they should be able to run Trilogy. So I think we'll get Trilogy. I'm hoping if we get Mythology Sub-Zero, which is a PlayStation one, we'll get Special Forces as well. And then the last one, I'm hoping we get MK Gold, which is basically an upgrade of MK4 that was on Dreamcast. So that software, that MK Gold software, can run the emulator that they're building should be able to run that extra content. So, I'm hoping those are the 4 we get. You know, even though I'm not the biggest fan of Trilogy, I'd like to see it in there with everything else, of course. And yeah, I mean, I'm just really excited for this collection. Finally, we're getting a love letter to the old games. You know, it's been, for me, it's been, like I said, really disgusting that the last version that they did of the old games was like in 2011, that Mortal Kombat Arcade Collection. And like, there's audio problems. I don't know if you guys remember the YouTube video I did about it. There was audio issues. The audio would stop playing, and Warner Brothers never fixed it. And that, you know, I told them about it, and they didn't give a shit. You know, and that just really annoyed the fuck out of me. You know, so it's like, you know, but here we are. You know, here we are with a fresh new version. Everything should be good. I know the quality that Digital Eclipse put into Cowabunga Collection, so it's gonna be good. Please, please. I hope to God they don't emulate that Arcade Collection or something stupid, because that would be a crying shame. I don't think they will, though. I don't think they will. So, yeah, no, it's very exciting. This is very, very exciting news. This is great. It's you know, it's bringing some of the roots of Mortal Kombat back. Some of the newer players have not even played these games, or, you know, they don't know a lot about the old games. That's why I get a lot of shit like, he's a has-been, you know, because I grew up playing all the old games. You know, that's my sandbox right there. Like Mortal Kombat 1 to 3, mate, I'll whoop you on those games at least once. You know, even if you're good, I'll put up a really good fight. Do you know what I mean? Like, because I grew up playing those games and I know a lot about them. But, you know, after MK3, or Ultimate MK3, I should say, one to UMK3 I'm deadly on. Basically everything after that I'm pretty mediocre on as a player. So, but it's really great to see this. I'm really excited. I'm hoping that they do a physical version. Please, if you're watching this, Digital Eclipse or WB/NRS, please make this physical. Nothing was mentioned about a physical version. I assume there will be physical. There was physical or Cowabunga Collection. But we need a physical version. Must be. And if you're willing to even go a step further, please give us a collector's edition. Please. Give us something cool, please. Even, I'm asking for CDs, like audio. I assume there's going to be, you can play audio in the game or something. I don't like playing audio in the game. I'm just going to throw it out there. I like when they give you audio in the game, because if you're like me, you can probably break into the files and rip all the audio. If it's there, you can rip it usually, right? However, I know not everyone can do that. I just feel like you should get a code or something in there so you can get all the soundtracks as MP3, so you can put them on your car stereo, because that's what I do. Anybody who's been in my car knows that I have all the Mortal Kombat music on my car stereo. I can play any song in the car. Mortal Kombat. Any game, I can play it. You know what I mean? Or almost all of them. Not all of them. Just got my favourites on there, basically. You know what I mean? Mortal Kombat 1, 2, 3, 4, Mythology, Sub-Zero. I love that soundtrack, by the way. That soundtrack's fucking amazing. You know, so, yeah. If they just did a collection where we could download the soundtracks and have, like, MP3s or CDs would be even fucking more awesome. I know people hate physical media. I actually don't. I like physical media. And if you're one of those people who hates physical media, I don't care. You know, throw the CDs in the bin if you don't want them. get the normal version. But for most of us who are collectors, we want physical versions. We want to be able to have audio CDs that says Mythology Sub-Zero soundtrack, you know, Mortal Kombat 1 soundtrack, Mortal Kombat 2 soundtrack, Mortal Kombat 3 soundtrack, Mortal Kombat 4 soundtrack. We want that. That's epic. We want that shit. And that's something that Capcom did. I mentioned Capcom. You know, I'm always taken back to that. I think it was the 20th or 25th anniversary, and there was this massive Ryu statue, and it's doing like a dragon uppercut. And around it were all the CDs from every Street Fighter game, the soundtrack. And I'm like, Japan just knows how to do this stuff. They just love, because Japan loves tradition. They love to celebrate old games or old content while still moving forward with new stuff. And I like that. Whereas I feel like the West, they want to just push new stuff and remember those old games that we made? I feel like there's just their heart's not in it, promoting the old stuff until this happened. Do you know what I mean? Whereas, like I said, Capcom, they do it a lot. They bring back their old games. They, like, you know, the best example is when the Switch was coming out, that Ultra Street Fighter 2, the new Challengers Collection. It was awesome. I had fun playing that. I'm not even a big Street Fighter 2 fan, but it was great seeing it. It was fun. The graphics were all newly rendered and stuff. It was really good, you know, and we just want the same treatment on Mortal Kombat. Now, the next thing I'll say is that this is what I'm hoping is going to go on. This is what I'm hoping for. Because the MK team knows that there's been a whole bunch of whinging going on. First, you got Group A, which are whinging for what we're essentially getting in this collection. Being able to play the old games, being able to play, you know, handheld, or the Super Nintendo version, or the Genesis version, whatever they grew up with, arcade, you know, the 2D era. And then you got a lot of people that want to play the 3D era. They want to play Shaolin Monks, or Deadly Alliance, or Deception, or Armageddon, right? So what I'm hoping for is that if this does well, there's going to be a Mortal Kombat Arcade Legacy Collection 2. And 2 is going to be the 3D era. It's going to be Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, Mortal Kombat Deception, Mortal Kombat Armageddon, and Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. That's what I'm hoping for as the second collection. And then, if they might have a HD upgrade of those. If it's just 4 games, you know, they might be able to do a HD upgrade. And then I'm hoping it will push way for like a sequel game, like Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks 2, which we've been because the reason I say this is that's everything that everyone's been asking for. People either ask for a Shaolin Monks sequel, they ask for Deception to be HD, or Armageddon or Deadly Alliance to be HD, or be able to play it, or they want to be able to play the classics. That's what everybody asks for. So, you know, I feel like this is the first step, you know, and I'm hoping the second step's going to be a 3D era collection, and the third step is the next game that's going to come from WB, and it's going to be Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks 2. That's what I'm hoping for. It might be too much to hope for. It probably is, you know, but that's what I'm hoping for, and I'm hoping that's the way it goes. So yeah, that's it for my reaction. Sorry I had to wait a long time for this, but, you know, like I said, I've only been back in Melbourne 2 days, and I've been catching up with people and doing stuff, so, you know, it's been a bit hectic. But yeah, great things from this collection. And yeah, stay tuned to the channel. I'm going to be uploading any new content or trailers that I get. Once I get them, they'll be on the channel for you to watch or look at or whatever. So yeah, cool. All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you later. Peace out.